Yes, welcome. Today it is Nerdy Book Look, and as you see, it is the tribal wisdom of the North beyond the runic myths by no other else than Lars Magnar Enochsen. And this is, of course, a hard cover book, and we will see what's in it. Has some cool bracteates illustrations, and of course the foreword, the background of the books, that it is this is about some you will see it is about some essentials, runic essentials, and a lot of cool stuff. And yes, the illustration is by Magnus Petersen. He was one of the most acknowledged runic artists in the 1800s. He worked for all the major runologists, Sophus Bugge, Ludwig Wimmers, George Stevens, and so on. But now we come to the, you see, it is about, yes, so people can get a good introduction. You know, you will see, of course, the elder foot torque. And beneath we see some of, you know, the K and the J and the S and the R rune, those runes that makes the most significant changes until it gets to the Viking Age, the younger runes, the Viking Age foot torque. And as you see here, it is both long twig, short twig, and of course staveless runes depicted. This is just so you can get an overview what it's all about, and of course also the medieval and the Renaissance runes. And some more woodcuts illustration. This is from the 1600s, from Ole Worm's famous book about the Danish runes. Yes, we will get some background and some nice cartoon also, of course. And we will see this is more about what there is the how what was written about the runes, you know, in the Edda and Saxo Grammaticus and so on. More Magnus Pedersen's illustrations, of course. And here we find this is actually the first time runes are mentioned in a printed book. So this is a book from 1495. It is the Danish Rhyme Chronicles, and it's actually the story about Hamlet, where runes are mentioned and with no explanation. So we can see that the readers were supposed to know what runes or a runa kafl, a rune stick meant. And yes, we can see the correct same stave runes. You can see them on the top there. And now we go on to, you know, to actually learn how to read runes. So this is the oldest, you know, complete Futhark inscription we have saved. This is, of course, from Kulver in the island of Gotland, east of Sweden. And we have the famous Varpsena Bracteat. Those are the two only complete depictions of the elder Futhark. And they were, of course, very significant finds. And now we come into reading the actual runes. We will have, as you see, explanations of the words, what they mean. And this is the Ek Gydia inscription, Ungandur Im. and we have others still Elder Futhark inscriptions, but here we also have many nice examples of authentic bind runes. And now we have come into the here we see, of course, explanations what it said, but here we now come to the later Elder Futhark inscriptions. So this is just before they evolve to the younger Futhark. And so yes, this is what the book is major topic. It is about the evolution of the runes. This is the famous Björketorp inscription. And yes, and you will get a very good overview to learn the Elder Futhark language, because this is what is lacking in most books. It is how can we understand the Elder Futhark. We have to understand the Elder Futhark language and the sounds. And now we come into the younger inscriptions, and this is, of course, the Viking Age Futhark. And then we have late Viking Age. This is actually a galder, an incantation. So here you can see it, how it was actually written you see it is with bold letters, of course, that is transcriptions of the actual of the runes, transliteration. And we come to the medieval runes, and here it's apart from the famous Codex Runicus, that it is the law of Scania, and also one of the oldest preserved about text about Nordic history. And then we go to the when it comes to the published time, 1500s, and as I said, the earliest mentioning in a printing book was 1495, but the first published example of a runic text with code key next to it. It is this is a map from by Olaus Magnus from 1539, and that is the first time runes were published with a correct code key. And this is, of course, the runes of the time. And here you see it again. It was published full code key also by Olaus Magnus. It was published first 1554 in his deceased brother's book about Nordic history, and he republished it also 1555 in his own book about the customs and the traditions of the Nordic people. That came out 1555 by Olaus Magnus. And here we have the famous Johannes Boreus, also a code key about the runes, where we also see the staveless runes and for the first time correctly depicted. So, and yes, here they are also. This is the first ABC book. This was published 1611, also by Johannes Boreus. And this is also the reason why the runes, the knowledge of the runes never died out. And because it was published 3 times editions of the ABC books, 1611, 1612, and 1624. So at that time, it was illegal not to publish an ABC book without runes in them in Sweden. Yes, here we have Ulf Worms. Here we can see that he was on the track understanding the Elder Futhark, because he depicts those that are the same, and then he tries to understand the other runes that are different, the Elder Futhark. But the problem was that they didn't understand the language. The language is very close to the Gothic language, but even more arcane. I'm not talking about the Elder Futhark language. But still, they had names from, of course, the Anglo-Saxon sources. And this is already in the first part of the 1600s. But yet, we had to wait until 1865 until Sophus Bugge, the Norwegian runologist, cracked the code key for the Elder Futhark, and also understood the language for the first time, which is the key. And Ludwig Wimmer, the Danish runologist, he also gave examples, explained the most significant similarities and differences between the elder and the younger Futhark. And it was first 1907 that we actually got the correct code key for the Elder Futhark. Yes, that is just slightly more than 100 years ago. So that is how new the knowledge of the Elder Futhark is. Yes. So yes, and then we have, of course, a selected biography. And of course, some more cartoons. And so this, of course, for the super nerds that wants to know where you find the most useful wisdom of the runes and more illustration. Yes, that was the book. So hopefully this was to your liking. It has been a pleasure going through this book for you. So have a lovely day.